Okay, how are we all doing today? It is the 15th of August, and I'm going to be doing another tier list video. How original. I didn't do one for season 3 because typically season 3 and 3.5 are the halfway seasons. The meta is basically the same, plus or minus maybe one or two fucking BP nerfs. So, we're gonna quickly go through each character. Hopefully, it shouldn't be too long, and we're gonna do it a little bit differently than last time. So last season I was mainly focused on ranking based on carry alone. This season it's gonna be a lot more based on synergy and team ups, just because the overtune supports again. So I'm eating as a support player, but having to play with BP for all 2 seasons, I think that's kind of deserved. So let's get started. So we're gonna do the new characters last, just because I kind of want to get a sense of them. I have played a bit of Phoenix, so I know where she stands. I have not played a lot of Blade. And keep in mind, I am not a professional player. I am a high ranked player in comp. So there's a bit of a difference. This is more of a laddering perspective for high ranks. If you want a low rank tier list, you just play Wanda, Cap, fucking Namor, and you'll be fine. And even Loki's pretty easy to play. Okay. So, to start off with Doctor Strange. I've been playing a shit ton of him this season. I've been trying to flex outside of my role. And, yeah, he's kind of a lot better this season. I don't know. The projectile, or the increase to his ammo capacity makes it feel a lot less clunky. I'm still reloading on 8 just on habit. When I use 8 shots at auto reload, I'm like, oh, I can shoot more. His damage uptime is better. And, I mean, okay, the buffs didn't do much. It's just kind of how they're nerfing around him. The flight change is, okay, it's a 3-second drop. That's not what's making him good. What's making him good is in comps where typically either this, or more importantly, where is she? This is banned. Because when you have an Emma, I don't like playing Strange into an Emma. I kind of get diffed. Strange definitely is probably the better counter to Mag, especially when they're countering my own support ults. I kind of need to learn how to block it, but that's on positioning, where they're walking to, and especially if they're able to just group up by me by the end of their ult. So like for Cloak, let's say, her 4th wave should be coming back behind me if she can't go around a corner. So I'm going to put him in A tier. He's a very consistent tank, and I have no problems with him. Ugh, man. Alright. Scarlet Witch. Unlucky. Unlucky, man. They're not buffing her because she's a noob stomper, but she's not good. You know what? I'm going to put her in C, just because this team looks really good. The extra health helps, and the little, like, machine gun she gets when she's shooting actually is she has a consistent ult. They did buff her ult, so it's a bit easier not to die from it, but the problem is her CC immunity. Just like Spider-Man. I was playing Spidey yesterday. I didn't know Bucky could pull a Spidey out of his ult. I didn't know that. So CC is a big impact on a lot of these lengthy casting ults. Even the Spider-Man boss for 20 damage did nothing. We'll get into that in a little bit. But in general, low skill ceiling character, auto aim. So they're obviously going to kind of need to be really careful with these types of characters, and that's why he's there. BP. Goddamn. Like, okay, if you're playing in a plot lobby, some BPs don't know what they're doing, but I'm playing in a high enough rank to where I see good Black Panther players, and holy fuck, this character is overtuned completely. Not from buffs, from bug fixes. When the character is actually working properly, he should not be broken. They nerfed his dash, so he's not going to be S+ tier. But, I mean, I'm still seeing him banned in every game, which is why I can't put him S+, but he is still very strong. Now, Punisher. I gotta be honest. Punisher is still really strong. If you have good aim, it's poke meta, So any characters that can shoot from range, even Widow, y'all be surprised about where I put Widow. She's actually pretty good. I won't lie. If you have the aim, but again, this is like top 10% of the ladder. So this isn't for metal ranks or anything like that. It's for higher elo. She's pretty good. He's pretty good. His ult's always really good. However, as long as this guy's in the game and he's not holding it while he's shooting and ends up breaking it, because you break. I think you kill the Maggot in about, like 2 seconds with that much damage. So as long as they know to pop it almost instantly, it can be a good pick. So Punisher's definitely S tier. I think he's really good still, even with the nerfs. Captain America. He's not the best tank, but I also don't think he's the worst character either. I put him in B tier. Cap is always pretty good. If you have a very good Cap, he could even be argued low A. But generally, there are better dive tanks than Cap. And by that, I mean fucking Hulk. Like, Hulk has been slept on, and I think Hulk is actually, like, almost better than Strange this season, which is fucked. Yeah, Cap's ult is actually pretty good. It's a tank support ult, which, I don't know how I feel about that. His survivability is insane. So Loki especially, it's a lot more chaotic, more deathmatch-like, so I can see him getting more value. Okay. Alright, and next up, Hulk. Hulk is probably A tier. Gamma has been power crept around everything being nerfed. Even if dive isn't as good, I would rather see a good Hulk than like a top 500 Cap, because I know how Cap gets rolled. It's not hard. Cap isn't normally a threat when I'm on my cloak. Cap is a threat when I'm on the Lunas, the Mantis. Oh my god, bro, the supports this season? The supports this season go kind of hard. I can't lie. It's a triple support poke meta, which sounds really boring. And it kind of is, but it's not. But okay, Widow. With Punisher specifically, I would put her C tier. But as always, typically you don't run 2-hit scans like this because you need either some anti-dive, some dive yourself. Everyone plays dive on ladder, so I'm like, without the team up, genuinely, D tier. I don't think Widow is very good at all. I don't like her as a character. I don't like one-shot mechanics in games. The only one that I think is even kind of out is Hawkeye, and you don't see him a lot, so that's a little bit better. Hawkeye is actually Loki slept on as well. The Thing. We're in poke meta, so unfortunately he's not super good. In anti-dive meta, because, okay, dive is the anti-meta comp to poke. And so when you're switching from a poke comp, go Thing Brawl. It is very strong. In counter picking, he's almost A tier, but he's B tier. Just because generally, you're going to be starting and playing poke in most of the time, even into dive. People don't switch. His damage is really good. He has probably one of the better tank ults in the game. Like this guy, and especially I'll talk a little bit about Groot later. Those setup ults, especially for example for Blade, really help follow up when supports want to support ult into it. I think it's pretty good. Namor, A tier character. I get he's auto aim, but the main damage is in his trident and being able to shoot your first one and then use your off cooldown trident as well to kind of two-tap them in the head. I've seen that happen. Not in low ranks, not much. But when you do see that happen, it's actually pretty good. Adam fucking Warlock. I was streaming yesterday. I played Adam. I didn't know what I was doing. He felt very good. My team was just really bad, so it's a little bit biased, but I'll be honest. Adam's kind of A tier. Okay, this is assuming this whole tier list is under the assumption that you have perfect synergy with your team. 90% of the games, you're going to have Luna. Play triple support Adam, Luna, Loki. Or even like Adam, Luna, Mantis, or even like Ultron, for example. Triple support comps in triple support. So in the best state that Adam can be in, he is A tier. No questions about that. Loki, doesn't matter what you do to the guy. You know what? Yeah, Loki's above all of them. Loki Luna is still the best support comp in the game. with a threat support. Even without it, you can still run those two pretty separately. I'm waiting to see Loki get nerfed. I want other supports in the spotlight. I want to see more Mantis. They need to be nerfing some of these support characters. They did nerf Loki's ult charge, but it didn't do enough. I'm still getting it up really quickly. Being able to shoot 3 times for one person is pretty strong. So because of that, I can't put him any lower than top echelons. He's S plus 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 plus. Mega broken runes, just like Lamp with Baptiste in Overwatch. It is just so good. Venom. I don't know where to put him. I'll be honest. Venom isn't bad, but he's not super good either. Venom's definitely better than Thing this season because again, anti-dive. You counter poke with dive. You want typically a Venom. No, I can't. Yeah, I'd say he's probably right around Adam Warlock. Best comp when running full dive. Venom Cap, a very good tank combination. Your supports are going to have a headache, but it's not about Hela. I mean, where the fuck else is she going to go? There's no explanation about this 2-tap headshot. Good, always good. She's been meta for the whole lifespan of Ravels, and she's probably going to stay that way for a long time. Okay. Storm. Last season, or like season 2, 2.5, she would have been S tier. But for this meta specifically, low A. I don't think she's bad. She's definitely ran, especially with a Jeff. Triple support. But, I mean, there are so many better triple support comps. Actually, you know what? Because of that, she's going to go low B, or high B. Because Jeff is low-key a throw pick because of how good all the other supports are besides Jeff. He can work. I'm not saying go throw your fucking ranked games if you get a Jeff on your team. But it's not consistent enough for me to put her higher. Unfortunately, she has a really good ult. The problem is it costs too much and it doesn't last long enough without a team up. So committing an ult that takes Storm ult takes a fuck ton of time to charge. They nerfed it because that was the only way that they could really balance the character. Okay, you want to have a high value ult? You're not going to get it every fight. Why can't we do the same thing for Luna? Okay. So yeah, I agree that's where Storm should be. Groot. Groot is probably slightly below BP. Groot is slept on. Groot, Mantis, Loki. Groot, Mantis, Loki, Luna. This is probably the best comp in the game right now, in my opinion. I've played it a few times. I've been even trying to learn Mantis this season because of how good she is. She's very good. You'll be surprised where I put Mantis, I'll be honest. Rocket Raccoon. Without Phoenix, A tier. With Phoenix, basically C tier. So I'll put him in B to kind of average him out. Rocket's really good. Any damage boost is pretty good. His ult is actually still pretty strong. I don't hate it. But with Phoenix being in the game, it's hard to run it because good Phoenix, you save for the rocket and then you follow up after that with your your charge shot that brings them all to max. So like you would charge shot, shoot a few times, get them all to that third tier of like burn so that the explosion effect can happen and they blow up near each other, especially in Rocket ult when they're all playing grouped up. Phoenix is ridiculous. I can't put Rocket higher. I love playing Rocket, but he's a bit of a heal bot this season and I'm not a big fan of that. Emma, easy. She's still the best thing in the game. The problem with Emma is the uptime with her diamond form. He's basically Thing when she wants to be, and then she can play also as a poke tank because her beam actually does go fairly far. It's not uncounterable now, mainly because if you're playing a Thing versus Emma, typically the Thing will win in a 1v1. But Emma is still very good. I have no problems with Emma on my team ever. A lot of people like her. She's strong. She can cancel a few DPS and support ults. So yeah, she deserves their Psylocke. I don't know what to tell you. Mag, Emma, Psylocke. The best team up in the game. Besides maybe the new Groot one with Mantis. But I'd have to... There hasn't been enough time for me to say that. So for now, I'm going to say that's still the better one. It's also really unfortunate that Loki is no longer with the Hela team up, because her hitting headshots would get a Loki res, and getting a Loki res means more uptime for his runes. And also, I didn't even think about this. With damage boost runes, I think this guy's better than Emma. With a Mantis, if you have a good Mantis. Star-Lord, just because Star-Lord is kind of dependent on the team up, but he did get the backflip buff, I'm going to put him low A. I don't think he's bad at all. I'm always going to be a Star-Lord fan if you have good aim. He's gross. Star-Lord is... Okay. There are very few characters in the game where I say, I am saving my ult for a counter reaction instead of I'm keeping up after their support's ult. Normally how support 1v1s go is, or like in a team fight is, you want them to ult with their support ult, you use your cooldowns first to sustain your team, before like, let's say like a cloak ult in your backline starts doing a bit too much chip, and then you ult. Because if you ult second, your ult is going to last longer, and therefore you are more likely going to win. I think it was like a 90% chance if you ult second in like some Overwatch 2 statistics, but I don't know how that translates to Ravels exactly. But yeah, very strong character. Never gonna have a problem with that on my team at all. All right, Magneto. Magneto Emma, always gonna be the best tank comp in the game. You should very rarely deviate from this comp unless you just don't play it, which, okay, fine. You don't have to play meta all the time. But when you're getting up to, like, GM, Celestial, which is, like, I'm... right now, I'm hovering around GM1, so I am getting closer to Celestial by the end of the season. I think I'll get up there. But typically, in every game, you have you, or Emma, Groot. But you always want to... Actually, no. Actually, because you always want Emma instead... Yeah, because Emma's typically a must pick. And then your second tank is a little bit more flexible, but she's always going to take up the number 1 spot. Bucky. With a Loki, he's pretty good. I'm not putting him in B tier. I'm putting him in actually low A tier. Probably higher than Star-Lord. It is a poke meta. His ult is still probably one of the stronger DPS ults. But it's really just a bit of focus. So if you hear Bucky going in, typically he has to leap ahead of his team. So support should be calling, burn this Bucky before he kills. You pocket your own support. DPS kills him. He gets no resets, and then you kind of win the fight from there. Because I haven't seen a lot of good Bucky. I've hardly seen any Bucky players, but I still think he's pretty strong. Mr. Fantastic. I don't even think he's a bad pick. I just don't think he's not A tier at all. He's probably low B tier. Rocket I still think would be better. Really strong, good damage. I have no complaints about a character like this. He's good, he's balanced especially. He can be annoying as fuck when he's flanking on supports in our back, but it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, I would put them there. Penny Parker. She didn't get nerfed. But the problem is it's poke. So poke can also include double flyer. And with the whole context of the game, Penny is probably... Penny is worse than Cap, but is better than Thing in the maps where she should be used for. So I'm not talking about every circumstance, they're better, because it's a tier list, it's contextual. But generally speaking, on a first point defense map, Rocket Penny is really good, but I would put them in A tier if Phoenix wasn't a character. You know what? We'll do Phoenix right now. Phoenix, very strong. With the... Oh, I haven't even gotten into this bastard yet. But with the team up, he's very strong. She's very strong, sorry. Damage boost, always nice on a character. Again, she plays like the soft version of Hela, shooting from mid. Very satisfying kit, and it is very easy to just poke out tanks. It's easy to farm tanks, especially Thing. Shoot them. The explosion damage will cause other people around them to get that mark as well. And then you just kind of cycle from there, and she's just very strong. I have no problem with that. Spoke meta. Moon Knight. Moon Knight's kind of slept on this season. I won't lie. I like having a Moon Knight just because it's in favor of him because poke is heavy, and the flyers aren't as oppressive besides I'll get into that because this one's a very specific case. I would put Moon Knight probably above Fantastic. Yeah. Good damage, good range up poke, pretty good. Okay. Squirrel Girl, she's just annoying. If I see Squirrel, we go Iron Man, we roll Junkrat into a fire. It's the same type of logic. I can't put her above Fantastic. It's poke. That's the only reason she is not C tier. But I mean, good damage, goodish damage. Can't really focus it. But again, I'm thinking of the Herbie map, Dracula, those tight choke maps. Very strong. No problem with that at all. Jeffrey the Land Shark, you are probably worse than Widow. There's, other than your really good Storm main, there is no reason to run Jeff unless you want to just play fucking Jeff. I like playing Jeff. I win with him in ranked. But because of how many new support team ups are in, the Adam one, the Mantis one, there's no room for him in the support slot. Like in Season 3.5, you're not playing a Jeff because everything else is better. It's not that he is useless. He's just a worse Rocket without the res, and everything else is better. So I'm perfectly fine putting Jeff in the lowest of D tiers. Hawkeye. Okay. Again, high rank perspective. There's nothing wrong with ever having a good Hawkeye. One-shot headshots are stupid broken, and with Mantis being on the rise, those damage-boosted body shots still do quite a bit of damage. So I'm going to put him there. Iron Fist got fucking gutted. He got gutted after the dive meta in at season 1.52. And when flyer meta came around, he was even worse. Now he's a little bit better. But I would probably still rather Scarlet than an Iron Fist on my team. Human Torch. Believe it or not, he's S tier. I haven't seen almost any real decent I've hardly seen any good torches this season, but from what I've seen in pro play and also high ranked games and even scrims I do sometimes on PC and sometimes console, he's really good. Especially because Invis is strong. That team up, that Fantastic team up is probably always going to be one of the most consistent ones. So I think it's pretty good. Cloak and Dagger. Just like Flats, and with actually having time on her this season, fucking S tier. I don't know where I'm going to put them yet. I need to compare with all the supports, so I'll move those supports at the end of this, so I can give you a bit more of a fair representation based off of my perspective. Spider-Man, I don't need to tell you this. Get off Spidey. I understand. Spidey's really fun, but he's fucking dog shit. Iron Fist is better than Spider-Man, and that's comparing vaping to smoking. They're both fucking bad. Fair enough. Magic. It's a poke meta. She's gonna have a hard time. Still into flyers because flyers are still kind of popular in ranked, especially. But I mean, I duo with a lot with Magic mains, and I've seen a few of them still pushing Celestial. So I think if you're good on the character, you can still carry with her. But that's all I got for it. Thor. Thor's kind of ass. I don't think he's C tier. He's low B tier. Thor is just one of those characters where it's he has okay damage but no survivability, and bro, he's a tank. He's not a DPS, but people play him as a DPS. In 3 tank comps, I still wouldn't want a Thor. I would just want, again, the big 3. That's it. And no more opinions. Ultron. Ultron's A tier. Again, we're talking about in the best composition possible for Ultron. It's triple support. If you have triple support, Ultron guts teams. His ult still comes really quickly. That's what he does. He farms it with his drone and his poke, and he does a lot of damage. And he cycles his ult very quickly, kind of like Squirrel, which is why I think they're okay. Mind you, Squirrel Girl is I stand on top of a payload. I can't get killed by it, so it's actually pretty decent. I have zero hate for Squirrel Girl players at all this season, or even I like Ultron picks. I've had Ultrons that have carried my games. Iron Man, just because of how support heavy the meta is, and because, hey, so there's positives. Ultron team up, goated, poke meta, goated. However, Magneto. Without a Magneto, I would put him low S. With Magneto, I would probably put him probably like above Namor. Iron Man's always really good. Some people may not agree with me on that, but I think Iron Man is very impressive in console, where hit scan players, they don't exist, or they have like maybe 200 of them in the top 500, which is not real at all. Mantis. Goddamn. S tier, S tier, S tier, S tier, S tier, S tier. With the team up. Without the team up, I would probably put her A. But again, we're talking about in their best compositions. Mantis is S tier. Mantis, Loki, Groot might take over as the better support tank lineup. But typically, these three are going to be better just because it's a bit more consistent. Now, okay, let's get this out of the way. Luna, I will move these, and I'll do kind of a separate little, where do I put all the supports in the game, and explain why, because I'm more of a support main, so I'm a lot more confident in where I can put these, but Wolf. Just because Emma's a hard counter, I won't put him on top, but you shred him. Wolverine is disgusting this season. He is so fucking gross with the Gene team up. They overbuffed him. And even with the nerfs, he's still banned every game. The reason he's not at the top is because he's banned every game. But he's so strong. And when he does get through the ban phase, I don't want to see him in my games. I want to vomit when I see a Wolverine. It's gross. The main thing is, okay, keep on. I'm a Cloak player. Cloak drops all her 4 lanes in her ult. She stops. Wolverine dashes, launches you out of the ult, or even dash, launches you out of the ult, and then he ults himself, killing you and killing any sustain your tanks would have from that ult. Wolf is disgusting. He still needs a nerf, in my opinion, kind of like BP. Well, I don't know. I don't think BP needs a big nerf, but I definitely think he needs to be looked at. I just think his dashes need to do either less damage or they give him something other than damage. Like, I would like BP to have like the magic treatment where they lower how much dashes he gets, but he gets overhealth and he has some way to do damage with his primary, like with the little claws. Maybe a projectile. He needs a slight rework because I don't like having a full melee character that can dash everywhere. I can't keep up, and especially for console players. BP, because he doesn't have to aim with a gun, he can have his fucking sense set to like 500 and flick constantly. The more mechanically demanding heroes on console, the lower sense you need to have. Some people can do it with high sense. I'm not that person. My Luna stats are 195 by 195. I'm not flicking up like that. It's ridiculous. On PC, it's a bit easier, but for a console perspective, BP needs to be toned down a little bit. Okay. Now, where do I put Blade? When I heard of anti-healing, I thought it meant like on a biotic nade, but it's a reduction. And I'll be honest, it's a little bit weak. With setup, it is probably one of the best combo ults in the game. Specifically, Ooga Booga Mine Power, and this, very good. But what I think is better is honestly having Blade on a Groot comp. Groot comp, Strange comp, something to keep them in place, even Thing comp I've seen it work out. However, just because everyone's playing him and no one really knows the depth, I'm putting him probably at the top of VT. Alright, now I'm going to go through specifically where I would arrange these supports in the top 5 supports. Okay, we're going to have Luna right there. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking giving her more team-up opportunities. The Atom one, if you combine, it's not just Soul Bond. Soul Bond shooting alone is really good. If you're getting doped by their whole team, you Soul Bond first, and then you clap. Clap regen when hitting enemies on top of the Soul Bond boost that you can peel your whole team for, by the way. It is so strong. They're probably going to nerf that team up for Season 4. I'm hoping they do. I like playing Luna. I'm Centurion. I need to get Lord. So maybe I'll get an Atom duo and we can rank up together. But Luna's just disgusting, and I don't like how strong Luna is. I want Cloak to be better. Okay, Cloak and Dagger. I will be humble with this one. Mid S tier, low mid S tier. I don't hate Cloak. She could be a bit better, I guess, but she has one of the best support ults in the game, and because of that, she's high. Invis is better than Cloak with a good team because the long reactionary ult is Luna. You go in, you take a fight with Luna, or you use it in response and then counter with a damage boosted Venom ult, for example, that can kill through Cloak ult. The problem with Invis is her ult is not mid, but it doesn't last a long time. It lasts about, I think, 6 seconds? Meanwhile, versus like 12, and that I can't. But because her ult is really strong and you can also set up with it, I'm going to say Invis is slightly better than Cloak. Slightly. Just because of the team up with the Fantastic team up as well, enabling you to play a lot better. You know what? You're probably better than Punisher slightly. Yep, I agree with that. And Mantis. Mantis is... I'll probably keep Mantis there. Strong healing ult. Mantis ult should be used for engagements, not for a defensive play, unless it's like, I don't know, like a Hawkeye ult, then you can pop to live, or maybe like something that can do a lot of damage, but won't necessarily lead to that unless they're hitting shots, kind of like a Hulk or a Phoenix. Yeah, like Hulk, Phoenix, Bucky. You can counter that very safely with a Mantis ult. Plus, you get healing and damage boost for yourself, and you also just move faster. So this is probably going to be my tier list. Yeah, Spidey's better than Jeff. This will be my season 3.5 tier list. Obviously, this is an opinionated support player talking, so that's why I think a lot of the supports are really strong. Adam is really good because of the team ups. However, in 2 support comps, it's the same as the past 3 seasons. You run Luna, Loki, or Loki, Cloak. One thing I will say, this guy falls off a lot more when you don't get the main support. So like Luna, Invis, or Cloak. If you don't have those 3, and you have like Mantis, I don't like Mantis Loki alone. I've seen it work, but there's a lot more synergy, and you must be reliant on runes so much more. And just because of that, Loki is not good in every comp. But Luna is good in every comp. These 4 are good in every comp, unless you're seeing like Johnny Ultron Iron Man poke, which is like probably the hardest counter. But even then, they have to run 2 tanks. You can focus the tanks, which is what Wolf is supposed to do. So, that's my tier list. It may have been a bit longer than I've expected, roughly half an hour. But I'm agreeing with most of these opinions. If you guys agree or disagree, let me know in the comments, and we can have a polite discussion about it in the comments, because I'm not flaming people for their opinions. But this is my thing. If you think, like, let's say Spider-Man is like S tier or something, which no, but let me know why. Let's start a discussion. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and take care.